Derek Boogaard spent his first 5 seasons in the NHL with the Minnesota Wild. He was always a fan favorite, but he was also a favorite inside the locker room.
Yeah, it was tough, I think, for, like you said, the whole hockey world, but for here in Minnesota, everyone, kind of got accustomed to Derek and what he brought kind of on the ice, but everyone that kind of knew him away from the rink. I mean, he was a great guy to be around, and it's just kind of a sad situation. And I mean, hopefully we can learn from what happened and what went on in his situation. It was a tough way to start the summer, and then obviously at the end, right before camp, with a plane going down, and Demo, another guy that was here and a big part of our team here. It's tough when you lose guys like that, guys that you know and you've played with. I mean, it really hits home.
It's tragic. It's terrible, and it's over. The only thing we can do about it is kind of celebrate, their lives, their careers, their families, and never forget them.
A tragic offseason all around the NHL. Wes, you played with both of these guys as a member of the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, that was tough to watch. Obviously having an opportunity to play with both those guys, they were unbelievable teammates. I was fortunate enough to sit beside Derek in the dressing room for 5 years. Obviously, when you spend so much, sit beside a guy in the dressing room, you definitely get closer to somebody than you would maybe sitting across the room. But definitely a gentle giant, and I did a lot of charity work that a lot of people don't know about, that guys in the room knew. I mean, I know he was going to the Children's Hospital at least once a week. He didn't want any cameras following him around or anything like that. That's the type of guy that he was. So obviously definitely missed. And a guy like Pavel Demitra, had an opportunity to play with him and Marion together as their centerman for a couple years. I always still remember him complaining that I didn't see him. He was wide open. I used to refer to him as 7-Eleven, like the 7-Eleven store. He was always open, so I never saw him. But again, a tremendous teammate, and a guy like Pavel. It was interesting to travel on the road and see how the countrymen, the Slovakian kids and the Czech kids looked up to him. It was almost like the Wayne Gretzky of their native country, and it was interesting to travel on the road and look at these guys, the sparkle in their eye when they had a chance to meet Pavel Demitra. So a tremendous loss.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. Obviously, you played with him really recently. I played with Pavel Demitra when he was a young man coming up in the Ottawa organization, and I don't have a long highlight film, but he's on a couple of the goals that I scored. So I have memories of him as a young man, and before he became a family guy, and before he grew into the kind of the star that he was. And I got to know Derek Boogaard also, being around this team and being around the organization and seeing him around town. I also played with Wade Belak, who was a player that we saw earlier in the film, and Brad McCrimmon too, who was just a great hockey coach, great man, played against him, played for him. So it was a tough summer for losing those players, and I know that Wes was close with the players that he played with.
Tragic losses for the Minnesota Wild organization at ages far too young. Up next on Wild Eye, presented by CenturyLink, we'll turn the page and look ahead at this season under new head coach Mike